Yo, ABC, mate, you got dropped, mate. You fucking pussy. Like, you got 3-0'd, mate. Kill yourself.
No, fuck off, mate. Welcome to my comprehensive guide on how to use every single weapon in Rust and improve your overall aim. My name is AceJune and I've played this game for over 12,000 hours. Hopefully today I can help you understand everything you need to know in one video. This in-depth tutorial you might need to configure or learn about. Without further ado, let's get started. Before we even talk about what you can do in-game, we have to talk about all the factors that come from outside that can massively affect how well you can play. The most obvious one is your PC. Facepunch recommends that you at least have an Intel Core i7 4690K CPU or AMD Ryzen 5 1600 and above. You need at least 16GB of RAM and a GTX 980 GPU or AMD R9 Fury or above. They also highly recommend that you have an SSD. I would say if I had to rank the order of importance for computer part upgrades, your CPU is at the number 1, your RAM at number 2, your GPU at number 3, and also having an SSD is very important for loading things in-game and speeding up your loading time when joining a server. If you're curious about what kind of computer I have, my specs are in the description below. Of course, individual skill has a lot to do with how well you can play video games, but also having good performance and high frame rate is just as important. If I were to use Hertz, since you're probably not going to get over that amount in FPS. However, if you really want to reach your full potential, I think it's essential that you at least preferences works for me, but the only way to find out what will destroy their health, comfort, and aim. First of all, it fits me perfectly, which is all the way down when it's nighttime. The first thing to talk about are some in-game settings that you should change. I'm not going to go too in-depth with this one, just a few that I think is important. First one is FPS.limit -1. This basically just unlocks your FPS. Your screen mode should be at exclusive and VSync should be off in your settings. For the FOV, I'd recommend 90, but it's ultimately your preference. Graphics.vm FOV scale should be at false though, as leaving it on makes the gun scale relatively to your FOV. Your true sensitivity comes from your eDPI, which is your effective dots per inch. It's calculated by multiplying the mouse DPI with the in-game sensitivity. Mine, for example, is 400 DPI with 0.475 in-game, so my eDPI would be 190. If someone had 1600 DPI with 0.11 in-game, our sensitivity would actually be very similar. The higher your DPI is, the smoother your mouse movement gets. I'm not an expert, but it's as if your mouse sees more frames with a higher DPI. Your mouse would be much more responsive to small micro movements, and your cursor feels way more fluid compared to lower DPI. But it's not always a good thing. In a game like Rust, you rarely shoot at people moving at a fast pace, and there aren't players flying around everywhere like in Overwatch. For linear movement, aka trying to draw a straight line from left to right, lower DPI is actually better because your mouse won't be picking up the small mistakes your hand might make that goes up and down. A good example would be CSGO, where lower DPI will help you stabilize your crosshair to be at head level at all times. It's good practice to just try out all the different sensitivities and DPIs to see what feels the best for you. In my opinion, the sweet spot was somewhere in between 0.3 in-game to 0.7 with 400 DPI. Honestly, a simple way would be to change your sensitivity until you can comfortably do a 180 turn.
Good grammar and spelling are important, but if you want to write essays that inspire,
in one mouse swipe. Before we get into the actual guns, we need to take a look at the attachments. First, let's go over the bad ones. The muzzle brake decreases the recoil by. Now onto the ones that you should definitely use. The flashlight is self.
Hello everybody, and today I'm going to show you guys how to get a little bit of a better spray in Rust. So I just want to say and clarify before this,
Alright guys, I'm going to be doing a quick tutorial in Rust on how you can control the first 3 to 5 AK shots, and a really quick tip that can drastically improve your spray immediately. It might take some time to get adapted to, but it is a huge difference if you're not already using it. So basically for the first 5 shots, this is what everybody struggles with, I think. I know I did. There's a very obvious reason for that. It's because it's a fucking crazy pattern and goes 3 different directions in 3 shots. But it's not actually that hard to control. Basically what you have to do is you can shoot like this and you'll notice that it jumps vertically. It pauses in the x-axis and it jumps vertically. I'm not moving my mouse, this is just what the AK's doing. So you can use this and you can, normally if you just pull left and down diagonally, you'll notice it jumps up and like
Alright, hello. So pretty much in this video what I'm going to do is basically a updated version of my last video, which came out in November, of the Rust settings guide. The last one was a bit rushed, so this one's going to be more in-depth and more, you know, useful, I could say. And it's going to be, things are going to be tweaked because it's the new HDRP, like settings and whatever, so, you know, some things will have changed, so I'm just going to go over it again. I felt like it was time to do another update video, you know, so yeah, let's just get straight into it. Right, so in this video I'm going to go over everything like here, all of these settings one by one. So I'm going to leave timestamps for every single one in the description, so if you want to skip to, like, you know, the screen, the graphics, the image effects, that's fine, you can do so. So I'm going to start with the options tab, and here we have field of view. You want to have that on 90 just because I feel like that's like just something that everyone like knows, you know. This is 70 FOV, this is 90, this is something that you need to have on. Compass visibility, keep that on at all times, because you know if you want to give call outs to your friends or whatever, if you look at the top of the screen, see like what, like southeast, you know, like southwest, you know, you want to be given these comms if you're like in PvP or whatever, so just keep that on. Stream mode, you want to keep that off, just unless you're a streamer really, just because there's no need to have it on unless you're a streamer. Rich presence, this doesn't matter, keep this on or off, this is really preference. And then censorship, you're going to have nudity on underwear, again it's preference, hide signs, off, show blood, on really, you don't really want that off unless you get offended, you know, by all that type of stuff. Alright, so now we move on to physics, we have max gibs. So in my last video I said you can have this on high or max, whatever you want, but you actually want this on the lowest, because if you see a maximum amount of gibs / broken objects that can exist at one time, obviously you're going to want to have this on the lowest, just because then it will take the least amount of impact on your PC and you'll get the highest amount of FPS, because you know there's less things rendering in, you know, just simple things like that. Alright, so here we have user interest scale. I have this on 1 just because that's how I've always had it. Again, this is a preference thing, you know, you can have it on the lowest if you want. It makes your inventory smaller, as you can see, it makes the chat smaller, things like that. It makes the menu smaller, but I mean, I like to have it on like 1, but I'd recommend having it on like, you know, from somewhere between like 0.7 to 1, somewhere around that, but then again, it is preference. So we have show HUD, you can obviously want this on, otherwise it's just grief, you can't see your inventory or anything like that. Show chat, honestly, you can have this on or off. Chat is pretty toxic, so you know, it is what it is. Mute global chat, you can have this on if you want. Auto switch chat channels, you know, you can have that on again. Show name tags, you're going to want this on 100%, otherwise you're not going to be able to see if someone's on your team or whatever. Game tips, unless you're new to the game, you're going to want to turn these off, just because if you already know everything about the game, you know, you feel like you know quite a lot of things, it's like there's no really need to have it on. It's just, it can be kind of grief if it keeps coming up on screen and stuff like that. Inventory player model on or off. So I mean, personally I like to see my player model. This doesn't have any FPS impact or anything like that. Sometimes I like to spin him around, you know, just because it's something to do. So again, this is preference. Then here we have audio. I'm not really going to go over this too much, but you know, again, this is all what you want really. Speaker mode, I like to have mine on stereo just because that's again what I've always had it on. Instrument volume, I have this quite low just because people can grief with it like quite bad. Voices probably have, you know, on like half to like around this just because, you know, some people's mics can be very loud. Menu music off, music volume off. You do not want that on because, you know, you just can't hear things. You can't hear like footsteps or whatever, and it just gets kind of loud and annoying after a while. Here we have controls, which is obviously like your main thing. Input settings, you have mouse sensitivity. You can have that on what you want. You're going to want this off, you would never want this on. You have mouse sensitivity. You can have that on what you want. You're going to you just can't hear things. You can't hear like footsteps or whatever, and it just gets kind of loud and annoying after a while. Here we have controls, which is obviously like your main thing. Input settings, half to like around this just because, you know, some people's mics can be very loud. Menu music off, music volume off. You do not want that on because, you know, you just can't hear things. You can't hear like footsteps or whatever, and it just gets kind of loud and annoying after a while. Here we have controls, which is obviously like your main thing. Input settings, you have mouse sensitivity. You can have that on what you want. You're going to want this off, you would never want this on. This is like weird shit, you do not want this on. Auto transmit voice, if disabled, mic will broadcast all the time instead of when you press the chat button. Turn this off, you never want this on. MIDI input or MIDI input, I don't really how you pronounce it, but enable to play instruments with connected MIDI devices. I mean, if you have one of these devices, then yeah, go for it if you want, but I mean, I don't, so I just have it off. Keybinds, this is all up to you. Like, never really take keybinds off anyone else, just because this is all preference. If anyone ever says, oh, use these keybinds help a lot better than any else, you know, don't really listen to them, just because, you know, it is your preference at the end of the day. Whatever works for you, and whatever works for someone else might not work for you. So, screen resolution, I like to play on native res, just because that's just how I've played most games. Apart from CSGO, I play 4x3 on CS. But on Rust, I mean, I've tried stretch res, but I personally like native res on Rust. Mode, you don't want this on like exclusive, which I'm pretty sure is like full screen on this game. And if you have a game on full screen, it reduces input delay, things like that. Simple things that you just want. VSync, you're gonna want to have this off because this caps your FPS at your monitor's refresh rate. So see if you have a 144 Hz monitor, you know, it's gonna cap your FPS at 144. So I mean, I just have this off. And I have my FPS limit on the max just because, you know, you can do. So we have graphics. And see, with this HDRP update, I don't really feel like too much has changed in terms of like FPS, performance. I've not really noticed too much in that. But one thing I do notice about Rust in general is it's not really like any other games. I feel like you can have graphics quality, which is the main like overhaul, on really the lowest or the highest. And I seem to get around the same FPS. Like I probably get like 5 to 10 FPS like in difference, and like maybe not even that. Like I've had friends that have said the same things. They don't really get any performance impact if they change the graphics quality like this. So again, that is kind of up to you. But I mean, obviously, if you want the most FPS, just turn it on the lowest, just to be sure. Now we have shadow quality, as you can see here, there's like the lines of the shadows, it's a bit jagged and whatever like that. And if you, now I've got it on 0, if you turn it up to 3, it's a lot more smooth and whatever. I don't really feel like this has much performance impact at all, to be honest, so you can honestly have this on whatever you want. I keep mine on like 2, just something like that, you know, in the middle. Shadow cascades, number of distance splits for suns, moons, shadows. Fewer cascades means more performance and lower quality. So it said it right there. You know, if you have fewer cascades, which I have no cascades, and you know it's more performance. And I don't think it does too much to the game that makes it look that much better. So I just have that off personally. So these things here, like max shadow lights, water quality, water reflections, world reflections. If you're trying to get the most out of your PC, you know, most performance, then just turn these all down. But you know, I don't really feel like it has that. Like the water reflections, that itself, that I'm pretty sure that is like 0 impact. Water quality, I don't think that has any impact either, to be honest. Max shadow lights might have a slight impact more than these two, but I really don't think it has too much. World reflections, I mean, I personally just like have it off because I just don't really see like what too much it does, you know. And it's just like, I mean, this is again preference, but I don't really see the point in having it on, if you get what I mean. Shader level, This is another thing that I don't really feel like impacts performance too much compared to the other things that we will go over. So, I mean, if you want this, you know, have it in the middle or whatever, but a general rule of thumb, if you're going for, like, obviously the highest FPS you want and you don't care about what the game looks like, just turn everything, like, fully down. That's, like, if you've got, like, a really, like, arse PC, then, yeah, just go for that. Draw distance, I have this on the maximum. Some people say if you have this on like half or low or whatever, you can see objects not rendered in. But I have a friend who we was in some airfield PvP and he said one of the towers wasn't rendered in properly and he could see someone. So sometimes this can be advantageous to have it on lower. But I have this on the maximum just because I'd rather, like, you know, be able to see as far as I possibly can. So we have shadow distance, and if you want, you can just turn this all the way down. It doesn't really matter at the end of the day, but I mean, I just have mine where it is because I have, like, not a bad PC, you know what I mean? So we have anisotropic filtering, I think that's how you pronounce it. Makes textures sharper when viewed at an angle or distance. Large performance impact. So here it says large performance impact. So we're just going to want to turn this all the way down. You know, this will affect FPS, but it makes your game look a bit shit. Like, you can see the difference if you look at these, like, walls and whatever. If I have this on, like, max, you know, you can see, like, a lot of, like, textures clearer, more HD textures, whatever. If you have this off, it just looks a bit like, it doesn't look as smooth, if you get what I mean. It just looks a bit, it looks like you're, like, potato graphics. But if you don't mind that, then turn it all the way down, you know, because you are going to get, as it says here, large performance impact. So then we have parallax mapping, gives textures the illusion and depth, high performance impact. So, you know, you're going to want to have this off if you don't care about what your game looks like too much, just because, again, high performance impact. Grass displacement I have on just because it displaces the grass when you're walking over it, and I just like that. Again, it's just a preference thing. So in video reflex mode, you're going to want to have this on just because, you know, pretty much what it does is reduces the shot delay, and, you know, like when you shoot, reduces input delay. That's like the main thing it really does. And so if you shoot at someone and they shoot you at the same time and you have this on and they don't have this on, your shot is going to register first. And things like this can just help you with, like, win fights. And, you know, this really does not take any performance impact at all, and it's just a really good thing to have on just for that reason alone. It does more things as well, but yeah, just keep these two on. It's a new addition, so yeah. Again, for the mesh quality, if you want to have the best FPS possible, just turn everything down. If you don't care about the game, or if you're 50-50, someone like that, then just, you know, stick it on halfway. If you know, you care about the graphics slightly, like, so you don't want your game to look awful, but, you know, you don't want to have, like, FPS just getting, like, mowed down because of, like, the game or whatever if you don't have, like, a great PC. But, I mean, I don't feel like it impacts my PC too much. So I kind of like to have these where I have it, but again, this is all on your PC, on your build, and what you choose to do. Now, image effects, I like to have all these off just because that's like how I like to play it. So if you have anti-aliasing on, you have this on TSA. If you see, my game looks like kind of blurry. I don't know if you can, like, see that on the video, but my game looks blurry. If you have this on in game and you think, oh, why does my game look like blurry for, like, no reason, like, I don't really know why, turn this off, yeah, and your game will look, like, clear as day. Like, I don't know why, that's just, like, how it is. And I used to play with this on like any of these settings, and, like, you just, I don't know, your game just looks like, it looks like you have, like, blurred vision. It looks like, you know, when, if you're wearing glasses or something. I mean, I can't really say this because I don't wear glasses, but, you know, like, I feel like this is what it's like if you're, like, wearing glasses. You know, if you have, if this on, like, TSAA, can't see probably, it's all, like, blurred. Then you put the glasses on and you can just see, like, perfectly. That's what I feel like it's like, you know. That's my weird analogy of it. So then we have depth of field. I have this off. Like, what even is this? It just makes, like, side of your screen look blurry again, to be honest, and it makes your game look slightly blurry as well. P reasons real. This on. You're gonna want to have this off, but basically you see the TV things here, but hiding of objects behind walls. Disable if you notice any lag or frames drops while rotating the camera. So, you know, if you're on a lower end PC or whatever like that, just turn this off, because as it says, you know, you can get some, like, frame drops, some lag, whatever like that. Grass shadows enables shadowing on casting on grass blades. I highly doubt this has any performance impact whatsoever, so again, have it on what you want. Contact shadows adds contact shadows to improve shadow detail on view model, players, and any areas that may otherwise be missed by shadow maps. I just like to have this off because I don't like shadows, like, when I'm playing any game, to be honest. I'm just kind of like that player. I don't really like having shadows on. I know you have these shadows here, but you know, it's whatever. I just don't like shadows mainly in any game, so that's just why I have it off. Sustain pedal support. Again, if you have a pedal to play instruments with or anything like that, then yeah, turn it on. If you don't, which 99% of you will not have, then I guess you just have it off. Alright, so if this video helps you know, anywhere, anything like that, then you can leave a like if you want, you know, it's free, and subscribing is also a free thing. I mean, you can always unsub when you want, so you know, but I will be posting more content like this if you enjoy this type of content or whatever. So yeah, and I also, one more thing, is I do stream on Twitch at twitch.tv/Wades pretty much every day. Maybe I'll miss a day sometimes, but yeah, check me out on that if you want to also. I do stream with face cam as well, which is like, you know, some people might think that's a bit weird, but because I don't put my face cam on my videos, but yeah, so I want to say. So yeah, leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you want to come back again, and yeah, goodbye.
Hey, what's up guys, it's Portugalia Rust showing make graphics.vm _ FOV _ scale false. Now when you make that false, it means that when you play at a higher FOV, it'll make your gun smaller. You see, that's with it true, which is default. False moves the gun a bit more forward and makes it so the actual hard sight is smaller. Look, bigger, smaller. And when it's smaller, the actual dot or the actual line in the middle of the iron sight is smaller, which means you can see enemies behind it a lot easier. And when it moves side to side, you can actually see when your spray is moving left to and right easier, which makes the spray actually easier to do. Now, I made a video about this quite a while ago, and everybody in the comments was saying it was working for them, and making the AK actually a lot better for them. So take that for what you will. I use it personally, and I like it quite a lot. So yeah, the command will be in the description, and just press F1, type it in as false, and that'll turn it on. You can write true, and it'll turn it back to normal. And now for the second tip, lower your sensitivity. Now a lot of people play in quite high sensitivities. Personally, I play on 0.2 and 800 DPI, which is default, and that's actually quite good because 0.2 is decently low. It's not the lowest it could be. I could make it lower if I wanted to, but personally going to 0.1 is way too low for me because I like being able to do a 180, and I can pretty much do 180 with how big my mouse is. And now the third tip, which is practice strafing side to side like this. Practice strafing while shooting. So you want to be crouching, moving side to side, practice your strafe like that. And same with AK. And this is going to mean that you get hit a lot less, because people trying to shoot you, it's going to be so much harder to hit you while you're moving around than if you're just standing completely still, which is going to make you win a lot more fights, and it's going to be a lot easier to actually win when you take half as much damage when moving around. And people don't say I have the best AK spray, but like, it's decent, but being able to do it while moving is my strong point, and being able to shoot moving targets. But yeah, being able to shoot moving targets is also quite a good thing to practice. Essentially, when you're practicing AK, standing still and doing this does not get you too far. You want to be able to shoot moving targets while strafing. That's the ultimate end game of what you want to do in game, because that's the most likely scenario. And then, practicing AK spray at far ranges. Right now, I'm at 50 meters away. If I go up to like 100, then this is where you want to practice your AK spray, because it's a lot more realistic, and even if it's not more realistic for you, then
Agora acabaste de tomar um pequeno almoço,
going
aqui
at higher
ao
ranges is going to force you to have a more tight AK spray instead of having it as shaky.
Ah, bem lá.
And the final tip of all will of course
Awesome.
be dedicate actual time to practice the first 4 bullets of the AK. It's almost like a lightning bolt pattern which the AK moves, so you have to go left and down left, or bottom left, not move at all, and then bottom left again, which is actually quite difficult, and especially with the lasers, it's very difficult. The first 4 bullets of my AK are a bit shaky, because I've actually not put too much time into it, and it's especially very hard. So the first 4 bullets are usually ones which don't hit much, but after that I've pretty much got it nailed down. Put time to practicing that, put time to practicing at far ranges, put time to strafing while shooting, have a lower sense and use that command, and you're going to see instant improvements in your AK spray without much effort at all. Maybe a couple hours of strafe shooting and you're going to be pretty much at the point where you need to be. Any more practice than that really isn't too crazy, but of course do it, because any practice is always good. But yeah, anyway, thank you for watching the video. I know I've rambled quite a bit, but I hope you enjoyed. And you can watch many of my other AK spray videos and other weapon tutorials, which I'll put in the end card. And I'll see you later. Thank you for watching, thanks for 1000 subs, and goodbye.
Com a Vinted, é fácil vender a roupa.
Hey, what's up guys, it's Portugalia Rust and welcome back to this video. Now, essentially, this video is going to be showing you how to get a lot better at the AK in barely any time at all, almost instantly. Here's quick tips you can do, whether they're settings or things to take into account. Or
Hey, what's up guys, it's Lobo. Today we're going to be doing a AK spray tutorial for 2021 in Rust. So the first thing to understand the AK is you got to look at the recoil without spraying it or without controlling it at all. So the big importance from looking at this is we're going to have to counteract this. So we're going to have to move. If it goes up right, we got to go down left. And if it goes up, we got to go down. So you're actually mirroring this, but down below. So you can hardest part is the first 4 bullets because they're not just one straight pattern. It's a lightning bolt pattern. And then you're going to want to make sure I'm trying to hit 5 through about 10 to 15 right here. You're going to want to make sure to hit these bullets the most. So you're going to get a lot of your double headshots, triple headshots. And then these last couple bullets up here, you really don't get to the last, I mean, unless you're a full mag, you don't really get to the last 5 bullets. I mean, at that point, you're either shooting at a 50 man or you're whiffing. So I wouldn't really stress that part. Big focus is honestly just right in here at the beginning if you're a beginner, and then actually I'd say right through here, and then as you get a little more into it and you develop this part, you want to start messing with the first 4 bullets. So I'll put a picture up on the screen and you're going to want to follow the way that those first 4 bullets move. So you go down left, down left, down left, down left, and then you'll come forward. So I guess I'll do a couple sprays. One big thing, this is just a Rust tip. Never mix laser and hollow. You have a hollow on, don't use the laser. You have the laser on, don't use the hollow. It actually worsens the aim cone if you use both together. Just a little pro tip. So let's just get to spraying. I'm just to prove I'm not using a macro or a script. You can even throw a pattern HUD up here if you want, but I'm just not gonna. Here we go. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you have any questions or anything else you need, just let me know in the comments and I'll be free to help or make another video if needed. So continue on, keep playing the Rust, and grind it out. Hey, What's up, guys? It's Lobo.
New to the game? Just like with the AK overall? Well, in this video, I'll try and give you some tips and tricks on how to learn or just become better with the AK in Rust. Before we get into it, please subscribe for more Rust content and comment down below what you would like to see next, or any other Rust tips you would like me to talk about. Now, let's get into the video. First, let's look at one simple command that can instantly improve your spray. This is graphics.vm FOV scale false. It's on true by default, but this makes your gun scale in game depending on your FOV, aka makes your gun a lot bigger. If you play on max FOV like me, this command makes your gun smaller. This also makes your iron sight smaller as well, making it easier to see people behind your sight. I'll leave the command in the comment section below. All you need to do is open your F1 console and copy and paste the command. Next, let's look at the spray itself. You can see how it goes down to the left, straight down, and then down to the left again. These are the first 5 bullets of the spray pattern and arguably the hardest to control. If you can get good at controlling these first 5 bullets, your AK spray will become a lot better. After the first 5 bullets, you get into an S pattern. This is the easiest part of the spray, and the first 5 bullets I really recommend you to learn. I would start with practicing the first shot, then the second shot, and then going into your third, all the way up till you can do about 5 or 6 and do the full first 5 bullets by itself really well. And then I would start practicing the S pattern itself. I recommend you do this for about 20 minutes a day, and over time you will see a really good improvement. Even within your first 20 minutes of just learning this spray, your spray will instantly become probably 10 times better. I'll leave some of the names to some aim train servers down in the description as well that you can go to. Just choose one with a good ping or a server that you just like. Next, let's go over attachments. Hollow sight, laser sight increases accuracy by making your aim cone tighter. Aim cone is where your bullets don't go where you're aiming. Having a tighter aim cone is really good because it helps you be more accurate with your spray. Suppressor also therefore you really need to play around the suppressor itself rather than being on a head-on. Most people will run hollow laser, but most people just run hollow plus a flashlight because of nighttime in the game. As well as I would recommend you still learn iron sight AK as well because most of the time I recommend you also use the AK with 8x attachment and the muzzle boost. This makes the recoil as exaggerated as possible. Therefore it's a lot harder, but you also learn it a lot better. When practicing your recoil, you should also have a goal in mind. If you're not good at 50 meters and you want to get better at 50 meters, I recommend you practice at 75 meters. After a while, you'll become a lot better at 75 and really good at 50, therefore you achieve your goal. I recommend you start strafing as well. After you get comfortable with the spray at about 50 to 100 meters, I would start strafing left and right. Strafing with the spray also takes some practice. You become much harder to hit and you'll win a lot more points. I hope this video helped you, and if you'd like to see more Rust content in the future or just like to see more tips and tricks, then please comment down below.
Hey guys, today I want to show you guys some tips on how to increase your AK spray or make your AK spray a little better. I'm not the best at it. There's a ton of people way better than me, but I'd like to think that I developed a decent AK spray and I have some tips that I can show you guys to increase yours as well. A couple things I would say. For me, I play low DPI, low sense, so I play 150 DPI and my sense is 0.8. It could vary on what, like, you gotta play around with it. Like, I recommend you just find your sense, your DPI, like what feels best for you. I have it fresh without even warming up, so this is what I do. Strafing, or just like standing still. So yeah, I do that for a little bit on 15 meters, and then I move on to hollow. I know for some reason when I do hollow, I don't know if it's just me, when I do hollow, like, it causes me to pull down a little harder to control it. Hollow gets like extremely less aim cone, so like it allows me to pull down. I don't know, it's like, I don't know, I do it harder for some reason because I feel like it like bounces up more. So like compare that to, I don't know. But for me, it feels like it bounces up more. So I like to use that a little bit, and then when I go do like use this for like 10-15 minutes, my AK spray like this is just way better and like way smoother. Now I'm controlling a little bit, and I just fucked up a little bit there. Another thing I like to do,
New to the game? Just like with the AK.
Hello everybody, and today I'm going to show you guys how to get a little bit of a better spray in Rust. So I just want to say and clarify before this, I know I don't have real great spray, like honestly, it's not great, but this is...
Hey guys, today I want to show you guys some tips on how to increase your AK spray or make your AK spray a little better. I'm not the best at it, there's a ton of people way better than me.
Então, por que só é à noite a minha festa de anos?
Por quê?
Por que à noite é que é a minha festa de anos?
Não, porque à noite é que as pessoas estão em casa. O resto está tudo a trabalhar. Estava aqui concentrado a afinar aqui o game. Esse 5 chega. Pipocas e o Lisboeta. O Lisboeta lembra do servidor. O servidor não me lembro. Estou com atenção ao chat. Quem é que anda aí no chat? Quem é que tá aí, pá? Quem é que tá aí a ver? Mas tu, Cuchi. Simulado, acho. Quer fazer testes da gráfica? Tem que ficar melhor. Mais confortável. Fazer aquecimento. Vamos entrar num novo servidor. M2, vai lá, vai. Eu só dou 25 metros. Vezes 4 screens. Let's go.
Get up on the boat.
Wow. Temos viciado na capa. Jesus. Fuck. Ah! Agora é bom, foda-se. Gosto mais de shotzinho. É muito bom, foda-se. Caramba! São tantos. Eu não vejo ninguém. Foda-se. Oh. Ou é de mais ou é de menos? Vai ficar para aqui, mano. Nossa, assim. Que é uma coisa tão. Caralho. É invisível. Como é através das paredes? Foda-se. Spawn kill. Caralho. Que? Tem um bug do caralho. Fico sem arma, vai da vez. Isto, tentar rolar para baixo. por isto. Foda-se. Está sempre a rolar, caralho. Não parece arma. Tá difícil. Isso é só para terminar. Isso é normal, você tem que fazer um pouco. Agora sim. Vai embora, tranquilo. Você vai lá sempre atrás dele. Preciso deste, farto deste. Sério? Foda-se. Que? Oh. Fogo. Será que o velho não tá morrendo? Isto boost, não sei.
Então,
Como é que é? Como é que é, mano?
ontem foi muito fixe. Uma cagaça, levamos redonda.
Ah, depois eles vieram todos, foi?
Estamos a bombar bem. Olha, a malta não se acredita que nós defendemos e redamos o Shazam.
A sério? Porquê? Porquê é que não acreditam?
Olha lá no meio do chat. Conseguir defender e redar o Shazam é impossível, uma coisa dessas.
Ah, então, mas eu tenho vídeo.
Claro, eu também.
Pá, não redámos a 100%, mas...
Não redamos a 100%. Tínhamos o luto todo.
Mas tínhamos o luto todo, exatamente.
O TC estava lá, nós é que somos cegos.
Yeah, mas havia mais TCs também, tínhamos de destruir os outros.
Peraí, nós ainda tínhamos rocket nas formas.
Já estava a ser uma batalha bué da grande, fogo. Estava na altura de acabar. Mas estava a ser fixe. Como é que foi ontem? Conta lá.
Ontem no... Opa, eu só estava no primeira defesa. Na segunda não sei.
Mas eles vieram online, foi? Hã?
Tu estiveste na primeira. Matamos aqueles gajos de baixo. E caralho, no primeiro andar e tudo.
Não, pá, eu saí à meia-noite.
Ah, pronto. Primeiro vieram online, nos funão.
Yeah.
Arrebentamos os gajos todos, tivemos uma box de rockets, um baú e meio de armas tier 3, 4 baús de armaduras cheios e o caralho. Arrebentamos mesmo os gajos todos, limpamos tudo, só 10 bodies. Olha para isso. Arrebentamos mesmo tudo, meu, esquece, olha para isso. Olha para a quantidade de bodies.
Ia com caraças.
E depois, depois disso, eu sei, vocês já não sei como é que foi a segunda. Mas eles não podem perder tão bela. Oh meu, ó, já levamos o hype, mas ontem defendemos um raid online e perdemos outro. Ora, no primeiro raid teve uma 8,5 da caixa de arma cheia, 4 baús de armadura, 10 rockets. Estamos a bombar bem, meu. Depois, olha. Mas olha aí a quantidade de coisas que pode diária, que mais mesmo assim, nesses servidores, né? Quero ver um wipe hoje.
Como é que é, Bela?
Pois não, porque não fui eu.
Eu reparei porque havia mexer na aplicação.
Por isso é que eu queria que fosses comigo. Por essas coisas.
Mas isso tudo isso, chegas lá e dizes que não queres o dinheiro investido numa das empresas deles, queres dinheiro numa conta poupança.
Já viste algum servidor? Chegaste a ver algum servidor ou não? Oi? Ah, o Caceu. É. Vou ter que aumentar o som, então vai dar baixinho o som. Olá, Bela.
Vá, estou aqui. Estou a ver, estou a entrar, eu te mandei mensagem à vídeo, a ver se eu agora tinha-me dito aquilo que vai. A cena dos servidores que vai é que se tem que ter isso, eu não consigo entrar. percebes? É essa a merda.
Quais?
Opa, os que acabam do iPad mesmo estão a bagunçar.
Ah, pois.
Um gajo que não tem bits, esse para como é que é. Podemos ir a no core do survival.
En plus il est inaudible, ne joue pas sur le Coran, ne joue pas sur la Bible. Et dans le ghetto la nuit, tous les clients sont...
O Dairo acho que ia fazer um... Se o Dairo hoje for com...
Sou bom quê?
Com um servidor de saneamento de equipa, vamos comer.
Ok. Já estive lá no outro hoje um bocadinho. Não, no outro. Não, Portugal. Portugal já nem entro mais. Acho que...
Eu não percebo é porque é que a malta não se acredita que nós redamos aqueles gajos.
Não, é só verem os vídeos.
Um gajo redou, mas estive na boa mesmo, a cagar.
Yeah. Éramos mais também, mas assim foi online. Mesmo sendo mais. Foi giro. Por acaso foi muito fixe.
Agora estamos fixos. E eu tenho sempre o exemplo.
Yeah. Foi uma boa ideia.
Mais ou menos metade-se aqui no server tuga.
No server Tuga já era nós contra eles. Mas olha que o server Tuga entrou mais pessoal novo agora.
Porque nós
Yeah.
se aparecemos lá outra vez, desaparece
Yeah.
outra vez.
Pois.
Mas assim, olha, já se pode streamar à vontade e caralho. Opa, assim não é, estamos aqui 4, estamos todos os servidores. Estamos mais, estamos com um servidor de 0. Percebes? É tranquilo, um gajo vai gerir.
Yeah.
Cada dia é um dia. E estes servidores não é para durar mais um dia também, não é? Até um gajo aprender.
Se era fixe é que a gente conseguisse arranjar talvez vai de, sei lá, 2 semanas com o máximo de equipas de, sei lá, 10 players, uma cena assim, que é o que a gente costuma ter no máximo.
Não adianta nada, não aprende nada. Temos é que arranjar um como ontem, que era sempre só tiro, caralho.
Foda-se.
Que é para um gajo. Ninguém pôs.
Pô?
Se tu fizeres 100 horas neste jogo do Survivor, o tipo é como se fosse 2.000 horas no servidor todo, percebes?
Mas é mesmo.
Foda-se, eu ontem estava a ver na cada bala, meu, esquece, eu vou te pagar.
A mim deu-me grande fraqueza, logo naquele quando fomos ao helicóptero morri logo, foda-se.
Olha, eu não, no helicóptero não morri, por exemplo, eu no helicóptero matei 3 gajos, trouxe 3 kits comigo e vim vivo para a base.
Eu depois ainda voltei nu, consegui arranjar um kitzinho, uma arma, ainda matei 1 ou 2, mas depois mataram-me outra vez. Mas meteu bem da graça que o gajo que eu matei, o gajo estava no chão, onda-te. Eu fui lá só com a pedra, dei-lhe 3 pedradas na cabeça e o gajo só disse qualquer merda em inglês, tipo mesmo. Tipo, estás a matar com a pedra. Então, depois tirei-lhe a arma, tirei-lhe o kit e aí comecei, já deu para brincar um bocadinho.
Eu sou o sneaky, meu, não toca a isso. Eu apanho sempre os gajos nas costas, meu caralho. Mesmo ontem na fight da ilha, tu não passou por trás deles.
Mas aqueles da ilha, foda-se, os gajos estão bué da... Os gajos estavam com grande power, mano.
Eles começaram no white.
Fogo. E como é que eram os BPs? As BPs era como? Eu de manhã também fiz umas quantas, fiz das balas.
Está tudo por saca, nós é assim. Pequenas e depois montar uma grande, percebes? Nós fomos montar uma grande no meio
Do tubarão mesmo, no meio dos tubarões.
e tipo, esquece, não me deu tempo nem de formar mais nada. A partir do momento que metemos aquela merda aqui,
Foi logo visitas.
não dava para formar, nós saímos tipo da base, não dava, meu. Um gajo muito fora nesse servidor, acho que um gajo tem que formar muito mesmo e começar tudo em várias bases. E depois ter mesmo muito, montava toda logo em segundos.
Isso a gente montou rápido. Montámos rápido, porque já foi mantê-la.
Não, nós mantemos, só que agora tudo só começa a vazar. Então, cara, olha uma coisa. Sabe o que é que foi? Foi top. Aprendemos a fazer, não é? Sejamos sinceros. Agora, a gente ter feito várias bases espalhadas pelo puta do mapa e enchermos mesmo tudo de farm. E só depois disso é que um gajo metia uma merda de percebes? Tipo,
se não viste onde é que nós arranjamos aquelas armas todas, aquela merda toda? 3x2.
Exato. Opa, mas foi fixe.
Fazemos 2,
Eu curti o Ed ontem, um gajo estava sempre ao tiro, ao menos aproveito. Ao tiro, um gajo estava sempre ao tiro, ao menos o gajo sai da base e está ao tiro, não é? Sai da base e está no esporte.
Sim, você vê que eu não posso.
Uma merda, a melhor coisa que a gente foi sair daquele servidor tuga e juntar-se em tudo, velho. Ao menos o gajo chega aqui e tem sempre presentão.
Está assim, de manhã, está menos ativo, mas mesmo assim...
Agora vou cá para ele aquecer e depois vou ver o vai numa dish, um servidor. O Dair, servidor tipo. Servidor pela o Dair é aquele. Ele vai fazer uma atividade em português.
Olha bem, como é que chama a merda do servidor?
Vocês têm quase no Facebook,
Não pode. Eu não joguei ainda.
Opa, eu também não, mas eles escreveram aí só que aquela merda 28 de
Mas nós não temos lá um servidor de ontem?
Temos, a pequenina ainda está lá.
E a outra grande? Nada.
A grande está, mas está fechada com portas, com outro código.
Está com outro código?
Mas aquele não tinha ferro?
Não tinha ferro?
O TC não tinha ferro.
Ah, mas ainda está lá, eu estive lá de manhã. Já deve estar a decay, isso por acaso não reparei.
Não, se calhar os gajos ficaram muito bem.
Vamos para o puxado.
A cena é que eles fazem meio que... Agora, qual deles é que é? Face bem esquadra tem face bem chapos aí. Eu não sei qual deles é que...
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Mas quem é que nos deu isso?
Foi aqueles gajos que escolhemos. Os gajos aí.
Quantos rockets é que os gajos?
A primeira eles levaram no pelo e depois a segunda já. A primeira eles tomaram tudo.
Esquerda, para baixo. É o que eu estou a fazer.
Só jogo de MP5 e a minha capa é uma miséria. Mas eu podia saber jogar à capa.
Yeah, capa, é o que eu estou a fazer agora. Nos botes e nas paredes.
MP5 ou a capa.
MP5 é mais fácil, ela só vibra para um lado. É só contrariar um lado e para baixo. A capa é que é o primeiro tiro de certinho, depois o outro vai para a direita e para cima, e depois o outro é só para cima, o terceiro, depois é para a direita e para cima outra vez. Então este é tipo um raio, caraças, os primeiros 4 tiros. Fluido. Mas tenho que fazer o desenhozinho ao contrário. Esquerda abaixo. Isto.
O dedo, sabe, se eles meteram base a apanhar algum lado.
O quê?
Foi não, o outro também não entrou aí.
Pá, um gajo já ouviu.
Para vocês perceberem quanto está o PT, o Lisboeta está com a cara.
Está com o quê?
É sério.
Com a cara.
Ah.
Não vai chegar em PT. Está com a cara.
Mas onde entrei lá ainda estavam 20 e tal pessoas.
Ainda tem saco aqui nesta merda.
Olha, o Duque disse que eles fizeram uma coisa no API para encontrarmos idealmente um servidor que desse wipe hoje.
Pois.
Opa, há sempre. O bom destes jogos é que há sempre algum core que dá wipe, tipo, basicamente tens wipes todos os dias.
Eu acho que eles, acho que ou é sábado.
Há todos os dias, depende do survival, imagina, é segunda e domingo, imagina, todo, tipo, os cortes cobrem sempre os outros.
Mas há um dia que parece que há mais, não é? Em média. Não sei se é quintas ou segundas.
O Dudu disse que o Muse de Mondays deve dar wipe hoje, por volta das 3. Vai estar full for sure. Vai passar aqui o
Esta dinheiro.
eu hoje vou estar aí à tarde, mas já, depois de jantar não estou aí.
Ok, o Dudes disse que se entrarmos num do wipe é logo fazer base onde queremos fazer a base e formar. Só que como entramos neste tamanho, o ideal era termos feito várias 2 vezes. Yeah. É verdade.
Yeah, por isso é que aquilo é só bases de todo lado.
Opa, a realidade é cenas que nem deu para aprender.
Pá, a gente num dia estávamos full kits, mano. Não foi assim tão mal. E chegámos a fazer uma base porreira. Hã? Pois? Hã? Estás a fazer o quê? É sempre amanhã.
Quando tiver a trabalho,
Amanhã é sempre um weekendzinho para abrir as hostilidades.
mas vai melhorando sempre pouco.
Ah, pois.
Foda-se, caralho.
Bem, vou almoçar. Até já, pessoal.
Dá cá para nem 50. Até já.